Okay, just a quick mention to these blues notes. You know, and these are enablers, so you have to be careful because you want to learn the system first before playing blues notes, which are accidentals within the system in the key of C. They're black notes in the key of C. Okay, so yeah, the Aeolian has the blues note. Okay, between the 6 and the 7. Okay, but if you counted, that's in its parent key. If you gave this root right there, you'd go G root 2 3, and then over in the G box here you would have essentially root 2 3 4 blues note 5. So the bottom line is the blues note that we all know so easily is the D, on where the D string shape is. So in the key of C, the main blues note is the E flat. Well, what about whatever happened? What about A flat? What about B flat? What about D flat? You know, what about G flat? What about those notes? If you play a minor scale, you've already got the flatted third of that minor scale and the flatted seventh right there. Okay. Now, when you go to the fifth of that minor scale, you can flat the third there. It'll give you the flatted seventh. And we'll talk about major and minor blues scales. But the important first blues note to really learn is on the D string shape. So wherever that D string shape is, that flatted third, and that's what we're going to be looking at. Now, there's another D string shape in the root 2 3, which is a major mode, which is the Ionian mode. So right there, root 2 flatted 3 to 3, right there, you've got that. And you can add the seventh. So I'm still working on that, but it's most important to understand the system here. So let's look at the cages one at a time. This is what we have to do. So I had to make these cages. So here we got Ionian. Okay. The D, wherever you see a D, is going to be a blues note. Alright, so you know, right there you've got one here, you've got one here, you've got one here, but how do we play it? The old E system, out of the word caged, okay, starts on the 7th and plays like this. Usually starts on the 7th, that would be a B here. Okay, now where is that blues note in there? Well, there it is, in between the 2 and the 3. So if we want to do a pentatonic in that E box, it's usually, and these are all white notes now, root 2 3 5 6 root 2 3. This is our well-known E-shaped pentatonic. Some position they call it. Sorry, bad note there. So where is that blues note? It's right here. It's going to be a passing note. So we're going something like this. Sorry, I hit that B again. So pretty lousy there playing because I hit that B by accident. But that's our E pentatonic. You can play it anywhere. Once you know where it is in the scale, oh, okay, it was on the G string, then you can play it anywhere. Okay, so that's the blues note in the E. In the short CAGED, the traditional CAGED right here. CAGED, I know it's upside down, but that would be that E there. Okay, things in the guitar upside down, backwards all the time, right? So that would be E cross A cross C. Okay, so let's do it in the key of C here. Here's an E shaped C, A shaped C, A shaped F rather, and then a C shaped G. There it is. There's your 1 4 5 there. Now let's look at the long pattern, but let's look at the play away, which will include this much of it. So it's going to be from this root to this 4. We're going to start on this root here. We're not looking at this anymore. We're starting on root, as if we were starting down here. We couldn't play this. Alright, so it would be root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 7 root 2, 3, 4, 5, warp up, 6, 7 root 2, 3, 4. And we'd end up there in that 4 there. Where are the blues notes there? Well, it's between the 2 and the 3. We're just going to be focusing on the E flat in key of C, which is the D string shape in any key. The D on the D string shape. Okay, so it's going to be root 2, here's the blues note. Now if we wanted to play pentatonic, it's a little more difficult, but pentatonic in the long form is root 2, 3, 5, 6. And then we go into a pentatonic in the next cage up. That cage is from the root E to the D. So it's there's the little blues note there. That's it. It's kind of a passing note. You have to use it in passing. Now, if we go into what we'll talk about the Aeolian cage that adds the flatted 7th and the flatted 3rd for you. That's the flatted 3rd of the root. It's going to add that blues note for you. Okay, and then we'll be hitting that note too. So we'll get to the Aeolian box as we go along. We're not done with the Ionian box. You see how it takes a little longer to get through all of this than people think. It'd be nice if this was the original cup of coffee from this morning, but it wasn't. I went out and bought some instant. Okay, so the next possibility, there's 3 cages. Here's one, is the traditional E in the word caged, which is a tripentatonic. 2 is E root 2, 3, the Ionian modal cage play away with just building these string shapes right here. E to C4 to E7 to C3, warp up for 6 for the 6, 7 root, and then finish off with 2, 3, 4. As you know, E goes to D in the word caged, because the long patterns always take you up 1 cage advance, 1 letter. In this case, an easy cage advance, not trying to see which exact notes are interlocked. So let's look at D now. Obviously, in the Dorian, okay, if we have a blues note that's like here, you know, like we hit, say, a C here, and we go, if we do a Dorian, we can still do that same thing. So it's going to be right there on the first string shape, 2, 3, 4. Again, we're going to look at 3 different types of scales. And by the way, we got to go back to Ionian because we didn't finish it. I have a new rule to give you. It's very easy.